we were going through some of the definitions of yoga in the last class. Let me do the screen share. Okay, you can see, right, Yttc?
Yes.
Okay, so even though we have a lot of definitions on yoga, we know that yoga is only one, right? Okay, so these are different dimensions through which you can look at that reality called yoga. So we reached tam yoga midi manyande sthiram indriya dharanam, and indriya dharana, that means you have control over your sense organs. With the, by using the mind, you have control over your sense organs. And I told that example of Novak Djokovic, how he hear Novak amid the chanting of Roger. I think you remember that. Now the final definition of yoga: mana prashamana upaya yoga ityabhidiyate. Yoga is the technique to pacify the mind. Mana prashamana upaya, this is from Yoga Vasishta. Mana prashamana upaya yoga ityabhidiyate. Yoga is the technique to pacify the mind. Mana prashamana upaya. Yoga itself means going beyond the mind. That means, mind is fluctuating. It is always going between the duality, pair of opposites, you can say, good or bad. If you are doing something, you have that tension in your mind, like whether you will succeed or fail. All these things are the play of the mind. So mana prashamana upaya, you should be able to know how to pacify the mind. Then only you can go beyond the mind and be in that yoga or union of that Jivatma with Paramatma. That Jivatma with the Paramatma, the ultimate thing I told, but in our day-to-day life, in our practical life also, there are a lot of implications and applications of this particular thing. So I am inviting you to one example to have better understanding of that definition. That is again from the tennis personality Roger Federer. There was one match going on maybe 10 years back. He was the number one player. Even though I tell these examples and all, you can correlate it into your life. Yeah, of course, you are not a tennis player, but you have your own competition. You are participating in so many life events where you have to compete, or you will be in a pressure situation where you can apply your mind like this. Okay. Roger Federer was the number one player that time. It was somewhere in 2011 or something, 2010 or 11. Then I told already his favorite court is Wimbledon, grass court, where he is the number one player. It is very difficult to beat him. And during those time, his routine action was in the preliminary round, he used to win straight set. There are 5 sets in gentleman tennis. Straight set. He didn't need to sweat it out to fifth set. Most of the game, in first 3 sets itself, he gained the 3 sets and used to win the match. So you are performing at the peak for a long time, and you have that recognition of number one player, and you are going to each and every tournament with that sense of satisfaction and confidence that you can easily win the game. And most of the time challenges come in the final stages, especially in semi-finals and finals. You have to fight against a formidable opponent. And this time this was second round or third round, and there was a player, Benito, I think Benjamin Benito or something, some French player. He was a low ranked player, somewhere in the 100 or something, not even a great player. Then Roger Federer was playing, and first two set he lost the match. He lost the set. In that match, first two sets he lost. So your momentum got derailed. You are you have entered into uncharted territory, which you never experienced. Okay, you are playing at your peak. You are playing at your peak, and suddenly one less well-known player came and trying to beat you, and two sets you already lost. You had to set it out. Normally you used to finish the game in 1.5 hours. Now you had to go to 3 hour, 4 hour, like that. So most of us will be destabilized. There will be tension. There will be some sort of agitation in our mind, and we will be again, that because of that panic we may be thinking, oh, if I lose to this player, what would happen to me? I cannot able to proceed. There will be effect on my ranking, everything. So there is break time during maybe two games. There is break time, and player can drink, eat banana for 30-second break or something. Okay. So after two sets, he came and he was sitting. This I read in newspaper next day. So after while he was sitting, he thought in mind, okay, the match has just started. That statement, that auto suggestion he gave. So again, the territory is familiar. Match started. Now he needs to win 3 sets, which he always do. So that match he won. 5 set match, and he won that match. So next day in a reporter interview, he told that, okay, I rebooted. I thought, okay, match has just started. He forgot that for the past 1.5 hours he was sweating it out. He forgot that such a well-known player has beaten him 2 sets. He gave that auto suggestion. So if we can give that auto suggestion in each and every moment in our life, we are undergoing tremendous pressure, especially during this pandemic period, right? Now the second wave has been hit. Most of the states, the number of COVID patients increasing, death also increasing. So automatically we will be in that pressure. We will be thinking, oh, what will happen to our career? Whether it will come to me or my beloved one. So all these things will be making rounds in our mind. So instead of thinking all those things, just give some good suggestion. Every time, yesterday itself, some people called me. My own sister called, and I was telling, this is not the happening outside. It is your state of mind. From one situation, imagining something, whether this will happen, what will I do? Whether that happens, what will I do? So this is the simple technique, being yoga. So yoga, you can do intellectually also. You can do, by calming the mind, you can do that yoga. And to have that grip on your mind, only you are taming your body or tuning your body. There lies the importance of asana. Okay. Now the whole definition, one another example, number of definitions, one another example I can tell of Albert Einstein. He is known as the greatest physicist ever lived, right? One was Sir Isaac Newton 400 years ago, but 20th century modern day scientist who gave us a lot of theories, great ideas, that is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein's father, when Albert Einstein's father was dying, his father thought his son was a failure. That was his condition. He got a lot of criticism from college. One teacher, one professor called him a lazy dog. You imagine, now no teacher do that, but one professor that time called him lazy dog. And he was not at all interested in that conventional learning and everything. he felt always at odd with the normal teaching. And after that school years and all, what he did, that he had to do some manual job or minimal job to survive. And by the time his father was dying, that was the same time he lost his girl child, and he was no one. To survive, he had to work as a third grade clerk in some institute. But that was the time, maybe at the age of 26 or 27, he wrote some papers in 1905. He wrote some papers in, he used to think, just like, even though he didn't have, to do research, what we have to do nowadays, we have to go to a university and do that formal thing, everything, right? That we believe that, okay, that is the only way to research. But how yogis do research? Are they going to any university? I mean, I'm not talking about the current day yoga practitioners like us. We, most of us, go to university and do that research. But there are many other people who simply observe by meditating, or in their life they simply observe through karma yoga and reach to something. So same way, Albert Einstein, even though he was doing that job of a clerk, in his free time he used to think. And he took tuitions also that time. Before that clerk job, he gave tuitions to students. And his students also failed, because he was beyond his students. Whatever he was discussing in class, it is like above their head. Because instead of spoon feeding, Einstein believed that he should provoke that thinking ability in students, something beyond the syllabus and curriculum. But that failed, and many people lost marks. So he was a notorious teacher also that time. And yet, 16 years later, that means once he wrote that paper at the age of 26, 16 years later only, people recognized. First paper he wrote was of photoelectric effect. Explanation was on photoelectric effect. Second paper he wrote was of Brownian moment. Brownian movement of the things inside molecule, which led to the discovery of atoms. And third thing he wrote was of the great theory of relativity. Okay, and fourth thing, he gave us the equation E is equal to mc square. These four things were path breaking in the field of physics or science. Okay, even today the Large Hadron Collider, that is in God, where we found God particle, the very basic thing they derived from Einstein's equation. So imagine, just like we have to think ourselves in his shoes. We all have that talent in us, but because of lot of temptations, delusions, pulls and pressures, we cannot see that properly. So what was the constitution that Einstein had? Yeah, we may not going to do research or do some great things in life, and yet in our simple life, in our day-to-day action, in our interaction with our family or our friends, we can do well, right? I'm not telling you or I should become Einstein. Yeah, that is also a possibility. We can't say. So there are so many people, late bloomers, we can say. In their second half of their life only, people came to know about them. Another example is Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders. He started his KFC business at the age of 59. And 59 is a retirement age for us. We simply make people retire. Even though people are like full energetic at the age of 59, we make them retire. Hey, you are an old man. Go and sit in some corner like that. So there are still time for us, energy in us, that huge potential in us. We don't know where we are going to excel. So always being, that is the beauty of yoga. Being yoga. I'm not telling Einstein was doing yoga that time. I'm actually inviting your attention to certain trait he exhibited. He was not at all worried about his success, people recognition and all. He simply did what he wanted to do. He could have easily led the life of an ordinary clerk, whining about his life situation, or having his trials and tribulations in life, and yet he found time to do what was passionate for him, and that brought. You should not belittle his achievement by saying it as success. It was something beyond that, right? Look how world changed. He wouldn't have imagined that his theories. And the professor who called him lazy dog, in his later part of life, spent time on Einstein's paper to find something. His own students' paper, the presented paper, he worked on that more and more to find something new. Okay, so these all are, in all these actions you can see a yogi or glimpses of yoga. If we can imbibe something in our life, at least through this, maybe tomorrow you are in a tensed situation, you should give input to your mind. Okay, this is just an imagination. Now you know the complexities of a human being, the different layers of our existence. Where is the problem? If there is some body problem is there, you should remember, okay, body is ephemeral, temporary, changing every 7 years. Then you should be able to go deeper. There are some people, right? Even though they have pain, they don't care. They do what they want to do. And best example is mother, right? How much pain a mother is having, both physically and mentally, and yet she finds joy when it comes to taking care of her children, right? The simple example. We may not be like, I mean, Itcha, I'm not talking about women. Male may not be like mother, but at least you can take cue or lessons out of it, how we should be. And there are some saints who gave motherly love to disciples, right? Or the world. Swami Shivananda, Maharshi Ramana. Many people are there who gave the Sri Ramakrishna, gave motherly love to the world. Arabindo Ghosh. Okay. So these are the definitions. Now let us go to happiness. Arjun Naidu might be knowing this happy analysis, and yet you can listen to my explanation of it. Okay. Uh, Happiness analysis. So to which Itcha I want to ask, as you did inner engineering course and all, you have some experience. What is happiness according to you? Yeah, you can talk. You just think for a moment and you can talk anything. This is not like competition or something. You can even make mistake. Chaji, before that, I'm making you co-host. Okay. Okay.
Happiness is the sweetness of your emotions. Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go on.
It's it's the sweetness of emotions, and um, it's being completely in the moment. Like you are not in the future, you are not in the past. You're just um,
Okay.
maybe you become all inclusive when you're happy. Like you want everyone to be happy. That is what true happiness should be. Where you are happy, you want everybody around you to be happy. And maybe you feel that everything is happy or everything is good and everything is perfect around you.
Okay. Feeling. Okay. Happiness is a feeling, right? But there is another feeling, sadness also. So all feelings are not happiness. Okay. Uh, yeah, good. Good understanding. Uh, that Monica Bansal, that is that Monica from the previous batch, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Monica might be knowing better, right? Happiness.
Mm, no, I missed your class.
Okay. Oh, you
Yeah,
missed that.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, if someone asks happiness, so maybe it's all about your mindset. How, for one thing, like if you one is feeling happy, but then there might be another one is not feeling. So for me, it's all about the way you think or the way you. It's your mindset
Okay.
in every situation.
Okay. Mindset in every situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Happiness is a state of mind, we can say. Okay. Now we can have an analysis of happiness. so that you should get clarity about happiness, which you can apply in your life. And this is very important. Uh, there, it will be surprising for you because we question a lot of things in life, and we yearn happiness. Everyone wants to be happy, and yet we don't know exactly what is happiness. Okay, or we attribute that to many things, many comfort in our life, our feeling and everything, and yet we never question that what is that I am seeking, what is the definition of happiness. Okay, uh, people uh, people attribute it to outside thing, right? Material comfort, we can say. If I have a car, I'll be happy. If I have a 3-bedroom apartment in the town area, I'll be happy. If I have a very good partner, I'll be happy. If I have one son, I'll be happy. Okay, if I have this much bank balance, I'll be happy. All these things you are attributing to outside world, right? And many people's notion is that if they achieve something, next achievement if they get, there is a feeling or state of mind, and you say that as happiness, right? If I achieve, I'm preparing for a competitive examination and I became rank 1, that will make me happy, right? But the problem is that once you attain that, again, that is gone. Now you will be going something, you're running behind something else, having that rat race all the time. After years of work, one person got a car. Okay, he got, maybe we can say, a car of Maruti Suzuki, so Swift, you can say. Maruti Suzuki Swift, not Suzuki, Maruti Swift he got. Then at the same time, his neighbor purchased another car, which is Benz. He cannot be happy. Now, I'm not telling all the person. Most of the people are like that, right? Your son got 95% mark, but your neighborhood one lady's son got 97% mark. Okay, your state of mind gone. So mind is fluctuating all the time. So that is not what happiness is. If outside things would give you happiness, then America would be the most happiest nation, right? Many people, by sitting in India, we talk a lot about America, a lot of Hollywood movies we watch, and we have certain dream kind of imagination when it comes to America or the Western countries, or New Zealand, where Monica G is there, Australia, many places like that, developed nations, we can say, where standard of living is high. We have all the material comforts, and civic amenities are good. Okay, and sometimes when we compare also in India, we don't have that. Here, chaos is there. We compare, and many people want to migrate. Some people say there is no point in staying in this country, like that. So, if outside standard of living material comforts would make you happy, then America wouldn't be having that kind of problem what it has now. One, drug culture. How many people are using drugs there? Second, gun culture. If you are that much happy in a society, why you are keeping a gun? Okay. Then, lifestyle diseases. 30% of Americans have irritable bowel syndrome. Many people have obesity, hypertension, diabetes, psychological disorder. If you are happy while all these things are happening, and how much they are spending on their defense. So all these things should give us a clarity. So this is in no way I'm trying to belittle a nation or country. Okay, just having that deeper analysis so that we should understand happiness is not in the outside material thing. So America is having their own set of problems. Now, to tell you another example, imagine a sweet dish of yours. Say, for example, you like rasgulla. Okay, if happiness lies in that particular product, you should never get bored by eating it, right? You eat it, and by the time you reach fifth rasgulla, there will be some sort of problem in you. If you eat 10 rasgulla, you may vomit. So that clearly indicates that happiness is not in that product which is outside. It is in some. It is something inside. Okay. Now, then another dimension of it is you may like rasgulla, I may not like it. So relative, right? And that is individual wise. Now, community also. Certain communities like certain kind of food. One community may be vegetarian, follow vegetarianism. They don't like to eat anything meat. But another community, for the meat product is like their life. People in the coastal area like fish. Maybe if you go to hinterland, people may not like it. So eating fish make coastal area people happy. But some people even they cannot even imagine eating fish. Some community. So all these things indicates that happiness is inside. Okay. Now let us go inside. What is there inside? Happiness means, you can see one person is one kid is playing video game. He's so happy because something is happening in his mind. Like he's able to fully concentrate in that video game. Dopamine is being secreted. Happy hormone. So that is happiness. In that case, we all can have engage in our own activity, full concentration, which will make us happy. But if you do that also, there is a time where you will feel fatigued. You will feel tired. Your eyes may have some problem. You will be having, dehydrated. One person died because of dehydration. 50 hours continuously played, dehydrated and died. So happiness, concentration, when you have concentration, you can say that will make you happy, but that is not the final answer because there also a fatigue is there. So again, what is happiness? You have to slow it down to understand what is happening. Slow it down means when you see a match, one Virat Kohli hitting the ball to boundary, 6. They show the replay, slow motion. We derive, we see each and every moment, right? We derive that happiness there. So slowing down means, imagine you are eating rasgulla. What is happening there? The moment it touches your tongue, something happens in your mind. That is happiness, moment of happiness. What is happening in your mind? You are going beyond your mind, that particular moment. Thoughts vanish. You become still. Stillness, nothingness, thoughtlessness. That moment is happiness. Okay. Now, a person who stays in hinterland, first time goes to see an ocean. And he reaches to Kanyakumari, where 3 oceans meet, or 3 seas meet, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, then Indian Ocean. One ocean. So the moment he reaches there, the moment he have that grand spectacle, that time, thoughtless state. Now, why people are going behind sex? What is happening? To have that orgasm. That particular orgasmic moment. What is happening there? Do you think about your bank balance at that time? Do you think about anything else at that time? I don't know how many of you are married. If you are married, I mean, sorry, we are adult and we are in a modern society. That's why I'm discussing. Now you don't need to be married to have sex. Okay, that's up to you. Your choice. Live in relationship. Many such things are there. But when you get that experience, that time, you remember Vivek sir told in class. Try to think something. You cannot think. That orgasmic moment, you cannot think. Thoughtless state. You become euphoric. Some beyond the mind, beyond the body experience that time. That moment is happiness. That's why people are running behind sex, to get that moment. Okay, but that also make you tired. Immediately after that moment, what will happen? There is a term called post-coitus depression for males. They lose something and they're like, fully tired. They have that aversion for some time. So sex is also not the answer, not the solution to make you permanently happy. So once you understand what is happiness, that particular moment, that stillness, that thoughtlessness, there is other ways to make you happy, because yoga says that. Going the mind, through that meditation, through that Atma Vichara, you can say. Intellectually, you understood what are you. Now, slowly, you are wading through that layers so that you reach Anandamaya Kosha, which is nothing but that bliss where Bhrigu reached. Okay, so that is yoga, which will give you ultimate happiness, and it is very difficult to reach there, but it is possible through prolonged practice. Not in one month class or one lecture will not give you happiness. It will give you an idea what is it, but now you have to practice this theoretical knowledge. Maybe today, tomorrow, some years later, you will be in that bliss mode. Now, to get a glimpse of, to give you a glimpse of that, you can see, right, a person who is continuously practicing, even though he may not reach that eternal bliss mode, and yet in so many situations, he or she can manage that situation well. Say, for example, a person doing at least a dedicated way doing yoga, asana, pranayama, meditation, doing, okay? Maybe 3 years, 4 years gone. Another person not doing yoga, simply having that business, running behind money, not understanding the deeper meaning of life, simply going. One tragedy hits to both of you. Maybe, say, for example, you two are brother and sister. Sister is doing yoga for 4 years. Brother is not doing yoga. Brother is into business, lot of making money, material comforts, all these things. Suddenly, your father died or mother died. Person who is doing dedicated yoga withstand that pressure in a better way in comparison with other person. Okay, so that is also, you can say, an aspect of bliss, right? Yeah, it is not happiness. You lost something and yet you recuperate, rejuvenate yourself as early as possible from that shock. You are not crying. Yeah, sometimes you got swayed by that lost in your life, lost thing in your life, and the next moment you regain that momentum. That also, you can say, an aspect of happiness. It is not happiness, but you are managing your life situation well. In this pandemic period itself, you see, a person who is doing yoga or meditation properly, I'm not telling those people who are into show business, okay? Some people show that they are yogis and all. I'm not talking about them. A person who do passionately or dedicate, in a dedicated manner, a person doing yoga, they fare well during this pandemic period. Not only they fare well, they give light to others also, just because of their pure existence. Okay. Now, this is happiness analysis. From this day onwards, you should understand whatever happening outside, just giving you a trigger, just giving that glimpse. So don't get confused that happiness is coming from outside. It is a going beyond your mind. So it is not even a state of mind. You are going beyond mind. State of mind fluctuates, right? One rasgulla makes you happy, state of mind. One rasgulla gives you a state of mind which will make you happy. 10 rasgullas giving some other feeling to your mind. So you have to go beyond your mind, that moment, particular moment. Okay. So irrespective of success and failure, be equanimous. To help you in that equanimous state only, we have done happiness analysis right now. So that when it comes to happiness, when you see, when you have that moment in your life, success, you should know, okay, this may go, this is temporary. This is not the thing making me happy. It is something beyond that mind experience. How to go there? Yoga will give you the way. Okay, continuous thing. It is not an overnight process. There is no crash course for it. Okay, 1 class or 15 class, I want to be in that state all the time. Okay, so happiness analysis over. Now, when the next class, no, class is not over. In the next class, we will be going to deal with the karma yoga. So, as a prelude to that, we should know some other aspect of doing karma. Okay, for that, first we have to understand our dharma. We hear the term dharma all the time, right? So, asking again, what is dharma? Monica, you can answer. Monica is not there, right? Okay. Aicha, can you answer?
I'm here,
Am I
sir.
audible?
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Dharma. The term dharma, when you hear the word dharma, what is your idea about dharma?
Dharma, which is right, or maybe according to our religion, related to religion.
Okay. Okay, fine. Anything to add on?
No.
Okay, no problem. Icha, can you put some light on dharma? What is dharma?
Uh, the inherent nature, like whatever is your inherent nature, you have to act according to it. Like doing the right thing at the right time as per your nature is.
Okay. Yeah, it is a little better thing in comparison with the religious thing. Now, dharma is the very essence of our existence. Okay, dharma is the very essence or the very law which is helping us to be in this world. That is dharma. Or it is the duty you must do according to the position in which, according to the position where you are stationed in the life. It is a duty you have to do according to the position where you are stationed. Okay. Now, to give more clarity into that term called dharma, I'm telling one story, small story. One Swamiji was sitting along the bank of a river. He was sitting at the bank of a river. Then he spotted one scorpion fell into the water. Okay, scorpion or bichu. Then what he did, he suddenly tried to save that scorpion. And what scorpions do normally, it stings, right? So it stung that Swamiji. Suddenly, in that shock, he releases that scorpion. Again, it falls into water. Again, he tried to pull it up. Again, that scorpion stings. This is going on for 3 or 4 times, and one person was standing at that river front, and he asks Swamiji, Swamiji, are you mad? You are trying to save a scorpion which normally stings. That will harm you, and yet you are trying to save it. Then Swamiji says, saving that particular creature is my dharma, and stinging is scorpion's dharma. So from that you can say it is your true nature, essence of your existence, which is helping you survive in this world. Okay. So dharma, everyone, we are part of a stream of existence. Right? We are part of a stream of existence. There were many ancestors for us that is coming down as a chain, and we are part of that chain. Father from father, mother, we came, then we will be producing offsprings like that. Okay, we are part of an existence. So in that position, we have certain duty to do. We have to look after our parents when they are old. We have to provide for our children. That also become part of our dharma. So dharma was before us. We were born into dharma, or fulfill our dharma is the very essence of our life. Very purpose of our life is to fulfill our dharma. And some people give it religious connotation. That's why Monica ji told religious thing. Because in Hindi that word is dharam. Dharam means religion. But dharam is not entirely religion. Religion is playing a role in it because we get some values by being born into that religion. So that also become part of our dharma, but that is not entire dharma. There is something called universal dharma, right? Ahimsa, non-violence. That is universal, right? Yeah, some people are resorting to violence in some society, community, and yet they tell in no uncertain terms that violence is not the solution. You should be non-violent. But because of the certain pulls and pressures, they are resorting to violence. Ahimsa is universal thing. Through some religion projected it, but ahimsa, non-stealing, all these things are universal dharma. So dharma is something we all have to preserve or protect or do. There is no escape for each one of us from our dharma. And you should clearly understand what is your dharma. If you at least have understanding on dharma, that particular dharma, your life will be more smooth. Say, for example, you have certain bodily things to do. Take care of your body, that becomes your dharma. And you have to obey the law of the land, constitution, Indian constitution, that becomes your dharma. You have to obey some religious diktat, you can say, or religious prescriptions, you can say, that becomes your dharma. You have to obey something as a world citizen, that becomes your dharma. Now, Yttc is a male, Yttc is a female, Arjuna is a male. You have to do certain things in that dimension also, that becomes your dharma. So, like that, dharma is such a difficult thing for us to comprehend. And most of the time, we are being deluded or having some other temptation, which makes our dharma not clear or vague. That is the reason for our confusion. One sloga is there in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. After all these blabbering or complaining of Arjuna, finally he submits completely to the Lord Krishna, by saying, Karpanya doshopahata swabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Dharma sammudha cheta. I cannot distinguish between what is dharma and adharma. Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. What is there for my shreyas, my fame and glory? Please guide me. From now on, I am your disciple, not your friend. So now you see, people are joining. Yeah, you all are, teaching, going to be yoga teachers, Yttc course, right? In the capacity of a yoga teacher, many students come in front of you, and they may be deluded in so many ways. They may have the same situation of Arjuna, lack of clarity in dharma, what they do and what they should not do. So while you are giving yoga asana, all these things, if you able to penetrate through that body layer and address their some mental issues, some sort of stress through your words of wisdom or counseling, by giving them clear clarity on what is dharma and adharma. And it is very difficult. I'm not telling counseling is counseling is also difficult, but to understand what is dharma and adharma, that is difficult because that is so complex in the society where we live. Okay, sometimes you need to have trade-off. Okay, to tell an example, we all say many people are having that body attachment, right? They have attachment to their body, so they give too much importance to their body. Arjuna gave that importance to his body. That's why I cannot kill my grandfather. What is that he's speaking of? He's attached to body. Instead of seeing that person as an epitome of adharma or your opponent on the war field, you are giving relation to it. He is my grandfather. He is my guru. I am related to him. How? Body relation. So because of that body relation, when you come to that situation where one person, or say for example, you are going for a walk in the park, okay, two children fighting, okay, two kids fighting, and one is your kid, the other one is neighborhood lady's kid. So what would be your reaction immediately? Would you search for justice or dharma there? Or if you are too much attached to a person, suddenly what you will do? You will react to that child. Hey, why you have hit my child? You may, for that, in that moment, you may lose the sense of dharma. Maybe your kid might have done something wrong. And yet you couldn't withstand that scene that fighting is happening, and you jump into the fray and you simply abuse that other kid. Then that kid's mother also came, then fight together, and then love lost. For years you had to become enemy. But at that time, if you have that sense of like some sense, okay, I should intervene. Yeah, my kid is being beaten up. You have to intervene. You have to stop it. Suddenly stopping, it should not be like, sense of hatred or raging. You should be better. What happened? Why you are fighting? Why you are beating my kid? But most of the people lose temper. Okay, that much is the minute sense of dharma we have, because we have to take care of a lot of things. Some people have very narrow mind. They simply take care of themselves. Selfishness, even inside the family. Okay, between husband and wife, between brother and sister. Okay, you got that. How much I will get? There is dharmic question. Okay. Now some people have little more wide sense of thing. They love they love their country. They can say, "Mera Bharat Mahan." Okay, Bharat Mata ki jai. But when it comes to a foreigner, they have that the other person. So what is the dharma? They may lose that sense of universal dharma. Say for example, some area where you should treat equally the foreigner also, Indian also, and yet you lost that sense of dharma most of the time. So Gita says that, Bhagavad Gita, which is a very good text for yoga, says that this body is temporary. Don't get attached to it. And what is permanent is always there. Then you should not be attached to body, and you should not grieve for body. When your body is sick, you are the one who is giving medicine. When your body is limited to a room, you can travel all over the world. When your body is going to die, you make arrangements for it to die. You make arrangements for funeral. And you can clearly distinguish between you and body, and yet you have attached to body. You are attached to body. Why you have to grieve? Because in Bhagavad Gita, another sloka is there. Dehi nosmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tadha dehantara prapti dhirastatranam mukhyati. That means this body, which is temporary, it will die one day. It will be worn out its utility. That time, that permanent thing changes body, just like we change the clothes. Okay, so these two things, great ideas in the beginning, in the very outset of Gita itself, Krishna saying. Now we'll be wondering, okay, theoretically it's good to hear, sir, but how we will practice? Yeah, we are permanent, but all we can see is bodily attachment. Every day, we have to do that. So how we can do? One simple technique Gita says is that renunciation of fruit of action. You should detach yourself from the fruit of action. Any action you do, don't even think about or don't even attach with the result. Not thinking about the result. Don't even get attached to it. Now this is another difficult thing. I thought some relief I get from that great ideal. Now this is the most difficult thing I am saying, right? Renunciation of fruit of action. So to help you, to aid you in that, I have to tell why we need to have that renunciation of action. What is the beauty of it? Once you get some idea, at least intellectually, and you practice in your mind, continuously giving input to your mind using that intellect, maybe after some years, you may reach, slowly, you may reach that position. Why you have to renounce the fruit of action? It's like that desire for the fruit you have to detach from. Desire for the fruit. Okay? Why you have to detach from that desire of fruit? Imagine you are having an eye on the fruit. Okay? And you are acting on it. Okay? You have a target. Now, Monica might be wondering because she is in such a field. She's a chartered accountant, CA. So all the time doing calculation, everything to achieve some target. Okay? To gain something, some result. And Gita says you have to detach from that result of fruit of action. Why Gita says that? Why Gita is inviting or diverting your attention from the fruit of action to action itself? Okay? Imagine you have that eye on the fruit. Why one eye on the fruit of action? You will be having only one eye on your action. So what Gita trying to say is that, or what yoga means that, give your both eyes to the action you perform. Result will automatically come. That means, imagine you are thinking about the result all the time. There will be pressure in you. There will be tension in you. How to achieve that result? How to attain that fruit? You will be daydreaming. You will be wasting your time on daydreaming. Instead of that, you detach yourself from that fruit while you are acting, giving your full time and energy to that particular action. Wouldn't that fetch you the greatest result? It is just like you are playing cricket, fast bowler is coming and bowling, and entire nation's burden is there on you. You have to win the World Cup. All these things are the result. If you think about nations, pressure on you, or thinking about World Cup all the time, you may not be able to see that 145 km/h fast ball coming. You may lose that concentration and you may get out. Gone. Instead of that, you be in that moment. What is happening? One ball is coming, you have to hit it as hard as possible. 145 km. Okay. What is the technique you know? You are a batsman. Okay, ball is coming. You should know how to place it. That's it. That should be the only thing in your mind. You detach yourself from the fruit of action. Then you can play that ball in perfection. And what will be the result? It might be a 6. What will it do to you? That 6 runs will be added to your team score. And it will help you to it will help the team to win the match. And it will help your team to go to the next stage like that. Finally, you will get World Cup, you will get a lot of other name, fame, everything. But when you are standing on the field facing that ball, somewhere at least part of your brain, okay, I have to win this time somehow. Gone. Energy gone, focus gone, concentration gone, agitation, tension, stress, body problem, mental problem, all these things. Finally, your performance will go low, purpose will not be achieved. That is what is meant by detach yourself from the fruit of action. One thing. Second thing, imagine a person is detached from the fruit of action. Wouldn't that be the excellent work that person can exhibit? Wouldn't be the finest piece of work he can do or she can do? That means if you renounce the fruit of action, if you can detach yourself from that action, a fruit of action, your action will reach to the one of the finest. Same Monica example, I can say chartered accountant. Without worrying about too much about that result of action, she's simply applying that mathematical thing, that calculation thing, what she learned, what she acquired, fully giving that time and energy to that particular process. Automatically, that will bring infinite gain. Okay. Now, third thing, imagine a person is too much thinking about the fruit of action. That person is actually selfish. He may feel like, okay, if I do this, I will get it. All the time that she is thinking, if I do this, I'll get it. What if I am not getting it? Yeah, I'll lose. Okay, it's okay. Somewhere you will manage it. But the moment you are losing that fruit of action, you will have a moral responsibility in that action. And you will be more serious when you are doing that action. The other things you will simply ignore it. Okay, you lost something. But this thing will be a moral lapse from your side. So you will be more attentive in your action. Okay. Now, imagine there is a painter. Okay. He is like Picasso, you can say, Leonardo da Vinci, great, world-renowned painters. Okay. What actually happening there? What we all are doing, we are living, right? We are doing something, we are working and we earn money out of it. We earn all the facilities out of it, and somehow we are managing. Finally, all will die. We are born into this world, we have to do one activity or the other, survive in this world, finally we will die. Some people go behind money, some people go behind name, recognition, everything, right? So one person, if you offer Picasso money, huge amount of money, and say, okay, you stop painting altogether. I'll give you, for one painting, you may be fetching $10 million. Okay, I'll give you $20 million. Stop painting. A dedicated, a passionate painter would agree to that. He will not, he or she will not agree, right? Why? Because he finds enjoyment in that action itself, not the result of it. Because that's what she wants to do. And one person is offering money and telling to stop it. Sorry. That process is more enjoyable for me. Now take the example of a farmer. Okay. Farming activity. What activity he is getting? He is getting some produce which will help him and his family to survive. And whatever surplus is there, he's selling in the market and getting money and developing. Right. That is the ultimate thing, right? So you are approaching a farmer and saying, okay, you stop farming. I will give you money. 1 year you are getting 10 lakh rupees. Okay, I'll give you 15 lakh. Don't do farming this year. Vagaries of weather. Monsoon may fail. There will be a lot of uncertainties. So you stop. I'll give you 15 lakh. You stop farming. A true farmer will not agree to that. Why? Because every day morning, she is getting up, going to the field. Sun God is there waiting for her to come. Give that sun, early morning sun rays. A gentle caressing of the plants on the field will give some sort of happiness to that lady. There will be cattle or chirping sound of the birds, which is giving soothing to her ears. Right? All these things she will be missing, right? If she's not going one day to the field. And what will happen after accepting that offer of 15 lakh and sitting at home? She may become obese, watching all those mega serials, TV series, and may become psychic at the end of the year, developing some lifestyle diseases. You gain a lot of money for what reason? Okay. Now, another example, process is more important, not the result. Okay. There are two matches going on. One is India-Pakistan match, cricket match. Another match, India-Afghanistan match. Okay. I have a ticket to offer. You can see only one match. Which match you will opt? Without any doubt, you will say India-Pakistan match. Right? Why? If you are attached to the result, you wouldn't have opted India-Afghanistan match where India's victory is sure. Yet you chosen India-Pakistan match. Why? just because of the thrilling aspect of it. You don't know who will win, and you desperately want India to win because there is some history involved. And what about India-Australia match? Australia is a formidable opponent. There is a chance, a 50-50 chance at least that India may lose. And yet you will take ticket for India-Australia match. Why? Because you can see a wonderful match there. Highly competitive match. Anything can happen. That thrilling thing. So process you are enjoying more than the result. Why you liked Bahubali? That movie? Because of Ballal Deva also, right? The villain in it. You want a formidable villain or a weak villain in the movie? You want a Thanos of Avenger or just a comedian as villain? Not the Joker, I'm telling you, okay? That Dark Knight, that is another level, okay? You want a strong villain, right? Then only you will be having some adrenaline rush, some thrilling thing. So we all are designed to enjoy the process, but we have some misconception that we want the result. Because I told in the happiness analysis, when the result is achieved, again, you are yearning for something. So process is more important than the result. That's why Gita says, detach yourself from the fruit of action. Now, detachment doesn't mean that, okay, by doing some work, you gain a lot of money, okay, you throw that away. That is not meant by detachment. What Sachin did in that felicitation ceremony of Ambani, all those people praised Sachin finally in his acceptance speech, he showed the renunciation of fruit of action by making a simple statement. I am a person who know how to hit the ball hard. That is the only thing I have. All other things you are talking, I don't know. He had his fruit, right? But renunciation of fruit of action. Now, if you renounce the fruit of action, I told the term infinite gain. Okay? When Sachin was playing, one company approached him for sponsoring, like, for advertisement. Sachin had to endorse that product. That company was Royal Stag, liquor company. Okay? And they offered 27 crore rupees. This is like I'm talking 15, 20 years back. Okay? 27 crore years, that time means crore rupees means this time it might be 270 crore. 27 crore rupees. But Sachin told, sorry, I will not endorse this product because I am an icon, sports icon. There are so many youth following me. See, moral sense, I'm telling. Okay, youth following me, so they may get misguided. So I don't want to be part of this. The point I'm making is that not this particular decision. He was such a gentleman on and off the field. Okay, even inside field, he never sledged his opponent. Even if his opponent sledged, he simply looked away, focused on his game. Outside, he did such gentle thing. He rejected the offer where there was huge money involved. All these things, world was watching. But he was not doing that. He didn't do that to show the world. Finally, what happened? No sportsman got the greatest civilian award in our country called Bharat Ratna until then. In a special session of parliament, they passed a law where they included, in a special session of the parliament, they passed a law where they included sports person also to be the subject of Bharat Ratna. So if Sachin was making all those small decisions with an eye on getting the highest civilian award, he would be under a lot of pressure, right? He would have been under a lot of tremendous pressure. He might not have got that because that time getting Bharat Ratna was an impossibility for a sports person. So imagine you are setting a target today, which is non-existing. Okay. Say for example, imagine you are analyzing, okay, America is the most powerful nation in the world. So you are setting a target, you are setting a goal. I want to be American president one day. You cannot set that goal today because you cannot become an American president unless and unless you are an American citizen you have to born in the land of America to become the president. But you are an Indian born, you cannot be an American president. But without having all these imaginary goal, you simply do your work with the full energy. Maybe 20 years later, America may not be the powerful nation. India may become the powerful nation and you are the prime minister, which you never imagined that time. Or maybe America may change their law in 20 years down the line and you did such an exemplary work and one day you become president of America. So the point is that whatever your goal you are setting today and you are having an eye on that will give you pressure. You will be under a lot of stress. If you achieve it, you may not be satisfied because you will be setting another goal. If you are not achieving it, you may go under depression. Instead of that, what Gita or yoga says is that fully focus on the action you are doing. Result will automatically come. And don't get attached to result before the action and after the action. Because that time, if you can work like that, you will attain samadhi avastha. Samadhi means there is no stress in your mind. If there is samadhi in you, that means you will be reaching that eternal bliss mode. All the time, irrespective of the happening around the world, you will be in bliss. At the same time, you will be acting. Vigorously, you will be acting in the world because you have to follow your dharma. There is no escape from it. Even the great person, the great leader of a nation to the beggar or peon or third division clerk in an office has to work continuously all the time. And what is the key to work? You should have that sense of dharma. And how you have to work? By renouncing the fruit of action. Then what will happen? From that body attachment, you will go to that great inner reality, which is permanent, eternal bliss, samadhi. So this is one way of getting that for ordinary people. Anyone can get it. So you don't need to have a yoga mat and sit for meditation by closing your eyes 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't need to do that. Have this thing in your intellect. Continuously give input to your mind with this intellect. No matter you are in kitchen, working in kitchen, or you are working in a flight, or you are a male or a female, or you're old person or kid, whatever. Have this thing continuous input, Atma Vichara, constantly. Then you are in yoga. You will reach there. So this is the prelude to Karma Yoga. Now what is Karma Yoga? That we will look into tomorrow, which you should not miss. Karma Yoga is that much important because no matter whether after this course, you may become a teacher, you may do something else altogether. You may not going to teach anything yoga. And yet you should be very much in yoga. One important, one easy aspect of that yoga is Karma Yoga, which you can tell to other people also who is standing around you. Some old person may come and say, oh, I never did yoga and all. Now there is no use. I cannot even do yoga. I am an old man. I cannot move body like you are moving your body. That time, don't worry, uncle. You do Karma Yoga. You just give the input of Karma Yoga, how that person has to behave, think in this world, how she has to maneuver herself among this, storm of actions around. That is Karma Yoga. That with a lot of examples, we will look tomorrow, Karma Yoga, what it is. Okay. Now let us conclude today's session. Before that, anybody is having any doubt? Okay. Let us, or if you want to ask, you can ask personally also. My number is there in the group. Okay. Anytime. I will respond in once. Okay. Close your eyes. One Om chanting and prayer. Inhale. Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Rub your palms, produce heat, apply it on your eyes with a few blinks. Gently open your eyes. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice